What's up, Red Wings fans? Welcome inside Little Caesars Arena for another edition of the Forecheck presented by PointsBet. I'm your host, Daniella Bruce, alongside Red Wings radio play-by-play announcer Ken Kal, and we're back from that West Coast road trip, hoping the Red Wings can get back on track here against Philly tonight.
That was your first road trip, and you survived, didn't you?
I'm not awake yet. I still haven't adjusted back to the Eastern time zone, so I'm all messed up today.
Well, the Red Wings did pick up one victory, and that was that 1-0 shutout against the Vancouver Canucks. Red Wings, I thought, played pretty well in that game against Seattle, had a 2-0 lead, but giving up 4 goals in that final period really did them in. So the Red Wings want to rebound. They're back home before going on the road again on Thursday to take on the New York Islanders. So this big game for the Red Wings, and they've got a couple new players in the lineup as well.
That's right. Back at home, and the trade deadline has now passed. Let's take a look at some of the moves that the Red Wings did make ahead of yesterday's 3 p.m. trade deadline. Of course, Vladislav Nemetsnikov to the Dallas Stars for a 2024 fourth-round pick, and then Troy Stecher to the LA Kings for a 2022 seventh-round pick. And the bigger of the 3 trades, Nick Leddy and Luke Witkowski to St. Louis in exchange for Jake Wallman, Oscar Sundqvist, and of course a pick in 2023. That is a second-round pick. So Jake Wallman and Oscar Sundqvist are going to be the 2 players that we see in the lineup tonight, the 2 new faces, Ken. But give me your overall thoughts on what the Red Wings were able to do at the trade deadline.
Really surprised that Nemetsnikov was traded, and I know he has value around the National Hockey League, but I thought he provided a lot of spark and oomph for the Red Wings, and actually played pretty well on the top line when he was inserted there. But again, players want to make the playoffs. They try to make moves, and obviously Nemetsnikov had some value. With that said, the trade with the St. Louis Blues, I'm kind of interested to see how Sundqvist will play with Detroit. He's a big, solid center iceman. He can play the wing as well. And I understand he's just a terrific third-line center, but in need, he can move up to the second line and be an effective center iceman as well. Goes into the corners, and Wallman, really good skater. And not only that, he likes to shoot the puck. So the Red Wings always need some offense from their defense. Maybe he can provide that. But it'll be a good look the rest of the 20 games for these 2 players as well as the rest of the Red Wings.
Ken, you nailed it. It's going to be a lot of opportunity as we move forward to the end of this season. And that's what Coach Blashill talked about this morning at Morning Skate.
Yeah, well, I just think, every time, we've got a whole bunch of guys that are at stages in their career where I think they either want more or they want to continue to prove they're good NHL players. In one of those 2 things, we've got a bunch of young guys that I think want ultimately to have expanded roles and be able to do more. And as I said, the other side of it is guys that are trying to prove they're still good NHL players. And I think, both of those sets of people on a nightly basis will have that opportunity to do it. And, we've traded a couple good players, so there's some roles open up that way. We've had some injuries, some roles open up that way. And now they got to go out and prove it and prove that they can help this team win and not just be guys that can play in the NHL.
Ken, although the Red Wings' playoff hopes are all but gone, there is still a lot to play for, as you heard Coach Blashill talking about. Guys want to prove that they belong in the NHL.
Well, this will be a good evaluation period for everybody on the team, no matter who you are. And, this is all about winning each and every game. And this is the National Hockey League. So management, the coaching staff, they'll have their eyes on all the players for these final 20 games of the regular season. And a lot of these guys are playing for jobs next year already.
And obviously, due to the trades that we just talked about, we are going to see a shakeup to the Red Wings lines for the rest of the season. Here's what we saw at Morning Skate amongst the forwards. It was Zadina, Larkin, and Raymond on the top, Verana, Suter, and Bertuzzi on that second line, Smith, Veleno, and Sundqvist on the third, and then we had Hiroshi, Rasmussen, Adam Ernie, and Sam Gagner switching out on that fourth line. Ken, what do you think? Sundqvist right there on the right wing. We thought he was a center. He is a natural center, I believe, but on the right wing to start on the third line alongside Veleno and Smith.
One of the things that concerns me, though, about Sundqvist is he's been riddled with injuries. And, I don't know how healthy he is, but he will definitely help. Like I said, he's a big body there on the wing. And the thing about Jeff Blashill is he can always, during the course of the game, see how Sundqvist is playing. And if the Red Wings need more depth at center ice, he can move over to the center ice position. So I can't wait to watch him play. I know Steve Yzerman's been watching him all along. Same thing with Wallman, the defenseman for Detroit. So it'll be interesting to see those 2 players play. And sometimes when you get fresh blood into the lineup, it gives you a little bit of hope going into next season.
And I'm sure they're excited to get the new scenery and try things out here in Detroit as well. They're excited about more opportunity. They didn't get that much of an opportunity in St. Louis with the stacked lineup, so we'll see what they bring here in Detroit. Let's take a look at the D pairings we saw today at morning skate. Osterley, Sider on that top pairing, Stahl, Hronik on the second pairing, and then there's Wallman and Lindstrom to round things out. What do you think there, Ken?
I think they look good. I think the Red Wings look a little deep back there on the blue line, too. And Sider's been terrific all season long. Osterley can move the puck up. Stahl's been steady as a rock. He's teamed up with Hronik. I like that combination. And I really want to see Wallman, see how he plays. And again, he likes to shoot the puck whenever he's on the ice. And that was one of the things he said to the media today. And it'll be interesting to see how many points he can generate in the final 20 games of the season.
And it seemed like Steve Yzerman put a lot of emphasis on the fact that he is a left shot defenseman, with the only lefty that's signed being Jordan Osterley. So we'll see what he can add from that aspect too.
Well, really, you really want three left-handed shooting defensemen.
In a perfect world,
In a perfect world, and three right-handed shooting defensemen. But sometimes you have to improvise there when you only have two left-handed shots. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens. And really on the power play is really matters the most, because if you're a left-handed shooting defenseman, the puck comes around the boards, you want to be on your forehand, not your backhand, to keep it in.
I should also mention that Alex Nedeljkovic was the first goaltender to leave the ice this morning, so we anticipate that he will get the nod again tonight in net, and he was incredible in his last two starts in Vancouver and Seattle.
Great 5 periods of shutout hockey, and he was terrific in that game against Vancouver. And it seemed like a playoff game to me. I mean, there was no lulls at all in that hockey game. Both Vancouver and Detroit were on the attack, and Ned was splendid. He also played well in the first 2 periods, and then the floodgates kind of opened up. It was a combination of everything going on in that third period for the Red Wings. Hard to give up 4 goals in the final period. But with that said, he's been playing solid the last 2 games.
And Ken, let's take a look at the Flyers now, who were also sellers at yesterday's trade deadline. They made a few moves. Defenseman Justin Braun went to New York for a 2023 third rounder. Derek Brassard to Edmonton for a 2023 fourth rounder. And then the big trade for them, obviously, Claude Giroux to Florida, Owen Tippett, and a 2023 third round pick and a 2024 first round pick in exchange for him there. He also threw in a couple other players the Flyers did to Florida. So that's a big move. Giroux made it pretty clear that he wanted to join the Florida Panthers, and boy, they could make a deep run now.
The rich get richer.
Yeah,
that's
right.
all I'm saying. And you know what amazed me about the trade deadline, Danielle, is the fact that the teams that aren't making the playoffs are already looking for the future. Mm-hmm. You know, the Flyers, the Red Wings, Seattle, everybody. But the teams that have a chance, they're going all in right now.
Yeah.
And really, there's no guarantee, no matter how you build your team. You just hope to try and get the best possible team going to your advantage when you come to the playoff season, but anything can happen. And this is going to be a really good, interesting playoff run for especially the teams in the Atlantic Division, because you got great teams like Florida, Tampa Bay, Toronto. Boston's coming on. They tied Toronto in points. So it's going to be a real fun playoff.
Yeah, and you've got to imagine any of those teams that you just mentioned facing off the Colorado Avalanche or the Calgary Flames in the Western Conference. So definitely going to be an exciting playoffs for everybody to watch.
And again, everybody's reloading there at the
true.
trade deadline. And I understand there were 33 trades, 54 different players moved, and 28 draft picks yesterday that happened that changed hands. So there was a lot of wheeling and dealing. The Red Wings didn't make a big splash. I didn't expect them to make a big splash. I know there were names bandied about, but overall, the Red Wings did what they had to do to try and get better in the future.
And Philadelphia, they're going to have some new faces and new lineups tonight as well, just like the Red Wings will. Let's take a look at their leading scorers now that they are without Claude Giroux. Cam Atkinson has 47 points in 62 games. Travis Konechny, his line with Kevin Hayes and Joel Farabee has been really good in the past few games. Konechny has 6 points in the last 7. And then Scott Lawton, who has been battling an injury. We may or may not see him tonight. But those are the 3 leading scorers without Giroux in the lineup.
Kevin Hayes had a couple of goals in that last game. Farabee's been really good, and Konechny always seems to play well against the Red Wings. So Flyers in the same boat as the Red Wings. They made some deals. They're looking ahead for the future. And, you know, exactly point-wise, they're almost identical. The Red Wings have had really good success against the Philadelphia Flyers this year, trying to make it a sweep. They've won the first 2 games this season against Philadelphia.
That's right, and we're expecting Carter Hart to be in net for the Flyers tonight. He is 3-0-1 in his last 4 games, so that's a good stat for Carter. He's been playing well, but the Flyers in themselves are 2-1-1 in their last 4, so they have been able to string together a few wins here, Ken, but this is a game that you have to think the Red Wings need to take advantage of. How do they do that tonight?
Well, they have to take advantage of the fact that the Flyers are 0-10-2 in their last 12 road games. Their last road game was a win, 3-2 win against Seattle on December the 29th. So away from home, they're not a very solid club, and the Red Wings have to take advantage of home ice. And that means going out there, dictating the play, playing in the offensive zone. A couple times we saw that on that road trip, and other couple games we didn't.
Yeah, right.
So the Red Wings have to come out, start on time, and take it to the Philadelphia Flyers and play in the offensive zone.
Well, for all of our betting friends out there, if you haven't downloaded the PointsBet app yet, make sure that you do. The line for tonight's game is the Red Wings at a -1.5. Over-under is set at 6. PointsBet has a ton to offer, including bets for March Madness. And, of course, you can bet on the NHL games, including the Red Wings and Flyers matchup tonight. But fans that are coming down to the arena tonight, they better get here early, Ken. Check this out.
Yeah, I got to stay away from that right hand.
I know. You're going to right hook. Check it out. It's Joe Koser bobblehead night. A big thank you to our friends at Huntington Bank for providing us with these awesome bobbleheads. And I know that we made a joke. They look a little younger, right? It's Grindline bobblehead series. They look a little younger, but it's back in the glory days. Gloves dropped. This is awesome.
Is there any tin foil on that right hand or
No.
Tape or anything like that? No, he's legal, right?
Yes, he's legal. He's legal. He's legal.
Old-time hockey right
Everybody coming down tonight, make sure you get here early. The first 7,500 fans to enter the building will get a Joe Koser bobblehead, and that's a part of our Grind Line series. It's awesome, I'm telling you. So make sure you get here early. If you won't be down here, of course, you can catch the game on Bally Sports Detroit or tune in to 97.1 The Ticket and listen to your very own Ken Cal. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another edition of the Forecheck presented by PointsBet. We'll see you next time. Ooh, there you go.